Once upon a time, in a peaceful forest, there lived a clever fox and a not-so-wise crow. One sunny afternoon, the crow was flying through the trees when it spotted something gleaming on the ground. It was a delicious piece of cheese. The crow's eyes lit up with excitement as it swooped down and grabbed the cheese in its beak. With a sense of pride, the crow flew up to a tall tree, eager to enjoy its tasty prize. But down below, the clever fox had been watching. This fox, with its bright red coat and sharp green eyes, was always on the lookout for an opportunity. And today, it had found one. The fox knew just how to trick the crow into giving up that delicious piece of cheese. The fox trotted up to the tree where the crow sat, cheese still clutched in its beak, and called out in a sweet voice, "Oh, crow! What a fine creature you are! Your glossy black feathers are the most beautiful I've ever seen. Surely a bird with such magnificent feathers must have the most wonderful voice too." The crow, flattered by the fox's compliments, felt its chest puff up with pride. It thought, "Yes, I am beautiful, and my voice, it must be just as wonderful." But it also remembered that the cheese was in its beak. If it opened its mouth to sing, it would drop its prize. The crow hesitated. Seeing the crow's hesitation, the fox smiled slyly and continued, "I would be honored to hear you sing, dear crow. Please, just one sweet note. The forest would surely rejoice to hear such a marvelous voice." The crow, now fully convinced of its own greatness, couldn't resist any longer. It puffed out its chest, raised its head proudly, and opened its beak wide to sing. But as soon as it did, the cheese slipped from its beak and fell down, tumbling through the air. The fox, quick as ever, leapt up and caught the cheese in its mouth. The crow was stunned. It looked down at the fox, who was now sitting proudly on the ground, savoring the cheese. The crow finally realized what had happened. It had been tricked by the fox's flattery. With a satisfied grin, the fox looked up at the crow and said, "Thank you, dear crow, for the cheese. Let this be a lesson for you. Never trust those who flatter you just to get what they want." As the fox trotted off, its tail swishing behind it, the crow sat on the branch, feeling foolish and regretful. It had let its pride get in the way of its good sense, and now it was left with nothing. And so, the clever fox enjoyed the cheese, while the crow learned a valuable lesson that day. Flattery can sometimes hide a deceitful heart.